Assalamualaikum. Morning, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam.
Yeah. Can we start, Prof?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all the participants and also to our esteemed speaker today. We have Professor Dr. Luqman Chohabullah from Faculty of Engineering. We'll be sharing with the topic today. So, like usual, before we start our session, it is my pleasure to introduce to all the participants, our speaker for today's session. Today we have Professor Dr. Luqman Chohabullah. He's a professor in the Department of Chemical and Environmental Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, UPM. He obtained his bachelor in chemical engineering from University Technology Malaysia UTM and PhD in chemical engineering from University of Birmingham, UK. And his research interests include environmental engineering, separation technology, process engineering, material engineering, and renewable energy. With over 27 years of academic experience, he has supervised more than 100 undergraduate final year projects, 37 candidates, and 30 master students, and was recognized as a 5-star role model supervisor by the School of Graduate Study UPM. We have the right person to share regarding the topic today. So, and lastly, Professor Dr. Lokman has published over 450 journal articles, 12 book and 90 book chapter, and has been recognized among Stanford University top 2% scientists and Malaysia top research scientists, TRSA. He is currently served as a editor-in-chief of Clinical Journal of Science and Technology, while actively contributing to research, postgraduate education, and academic leadership at UPM. Thank you, Prof. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. So, can we start the session, Prof?
Okay, thank you very much, Cik Arif. Yeah. So, Assalamualaikum and good morning to all the students and for all the participants. Yeah. So today I would like to share the topics on the titles of managing your supervisor, do and don'ts. Yeah. Yeah, I think some of you might attend my course in research methodology before. You might attend one of the lecture also related to this topic. Yeah, I would like to say that yes, some of the content might be a little bit similar to what I have shared in my lecture, but overall there will be 80% of the new contents that I just designed for this talk today. Yeah. So I hope that you will benefit from the talk. Yeah. So the title might be a bit different. Maybe you might wondering why the title is managing your supervisor, not the supervisor managing the student. Yeah, I have maybe at the end of the talk that you understand why I say that you need to manage your supervisor. I think there's a reason that all the students will learn how to manage their supervisor because it's important lesson to learn that uh, how to build a good relationship. Yeah, I always say that managing your supervisor is a must learn lesson. Yeah, to any of us. Yeah. From my experience to be a student and until I be a supervisor today, I really undergoes many issue or anything experience that I would like to share in this talk. Yeah, with you how to build a good relationship with your supervisor. Yeah, hopefully that after the talk you will be benefits by learning something that you can use in your to develop a good relationship with your supervisor. Yeah. First of all, I'd love to share some introduction. Managing your supervisor effectively is crucial for a successful doctorate journey. Yeah. Maybe some of you are the master student, but I was just in general a target for the PhD, postgraduate student. I assume that majority are the PhD student. So here I say that why it's effective not only for PhD but also for master's student as long as a postgraduate study. Yeah, a good relationship with your supervisor can greatly enhance your research experience, while a poor one can lead to unnecessary stress and setback. This is true. Yeah, if you don't manage your relationship with your supervisor well, at the end that both of you will suffer in some degree. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy that to 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 build a good relationship with supervisor. Yeah, but because supervisor also humankind, so we also we human being, so they have all kind of characters. So learning some basic skill how to deal with supervisor is very important to enhance your experience as a postgraduate student. So managing your research supervisor involve proactively aligning the expectation, communicating clearly, and respecting their time. This is a basic respect to your supervisor. Yeah. So I would go into more detail about this, especially aligning expectation, communicating, and also the time management. So to manage your research supervisor effectively, you must drive the project yourself. Yeah, supervisor doesn't like the student that too sticky to them. Yeah, they expect the student to be independent, but not to really move. I mean that this, you mean you can be independent, but not totally lost in control. Yeah, that's they're different. Yeah, some people say that independent mean that it doesn't have to report to anything to a supervisor, everything by yourself. Yeah, I know that there are some very extreme case that students like to be totally independent. They don't really like to communicate well much with the supervisor unless they have something to talk to the supervisor. I think there's something that I think we both supervisor and the student need to be careful on that because it's not a healthy relationship with that. Independent doesn't mean that you're totally not in contact with your supervisor, but you have to keep your supervisor in touch, but working independently. Yeah, that's a measure that you really need to control. Yeah. Take initiative like setting the meeting agenda clearly, defining the actionable next step, and anticipating their expectation. This is what a student should do and treat them like a partner, adapt to their communication style, and respect their time constraint. Yeah, most of the supervisors are busy people. Yeah, I very seldom the supervisor is a very free people that are always available for you. Even those they might not have many students, they still have other assignment to do. They might be involved in the administration work. They might be involved in consultation. They might be involved in their own self-research or contract work. They might have a lot of teaching to do. Yeah, beside that, as a lecturer, we are not only doing teaching, but we are also involved in many activities, helping the department to sell a curriculum, all sort of things. So it is understandable that a supervisor might not be a free man all the time to available anytime we on call for you. So you have to respect their time constraint. So whenever the arrangement, whatever arrangement you make, you have to respect their time constraint too. Yeah. That's why I have to emphasize this. So yeah, this is just for a joke. Yeah, that's why you don't have to be entertain a supervisor like a labor. Okay, lower supervisor in the different state of project. At the beginning, your supervisor will act like a director, starting as director as a clear boundary. Your supervisor will help you set out your scope, help you set out your what you need to do to do, what is your direction or something. So they will like a director show you the vision, show you the direction, show you the path. So they help you to clarify that between the boundary, what the boundary of your scope that you need to do. So you know that okay I need to study because I think most of you when at the beginning of your research you are very bit to some degree you feel a bit blur, you feel a bit lost because like the title given to you might be too broad, then you don't know how to go in, how to narrow down the scope or something. That's why the sponsor came in to help you to set the boundary of your scope. Yeah, they won't directly give you the direction, but they would help you to say that, okay, maybe you should focus on this and that. Yeah, I remember when I did my first time, the time I encountered my supervisor, he only give me a title in general, ceramic filter in high temperature gas cleaning. This title is too general. I don't even know how to start. Yeah. But when time go on, gradually my supervisor will give me some push. They say, okay, maybe you should think about trying to something like a crossflow, something. So he tried to guide me to the direction, trying to set a boundary of my research. So try to tell me that what should I do next. So this is what the supervisor at the beginning stage, they help you to set the boundary so that you won't lose. So keep it in the control in between of the scope of the study. So after once you get your title clear and you do a direction clear, then your supervisor role will return to be a mentor. So they will monitor your progress. So progressing to a mentor as you gain subject expertise. So when you graduate, develop your skill, yeah, your mentor, your supervisor will try to mentoring you, try to tell you that what you to look into it, what you to improve, what you to enhance, sort of things. So he give you advice, yeah, rather than give you direction. Because now is the time that you explore yourself. Yeah, you should be responsible for your work. You should start to design your own work, and your supervisor will guide you as a supervisor, as a mentor. Yeah, they give you advice, they give you help in terms of the from their experience, what they're sharing, that what they should do, what you don't. Maybe they suggest that you should try this and that. Okay, but they cannot do it for you because they're just mentoring you. At the end, when you already starting your experiment, everything, then they become a coach, becoming a coach as you move forward. So when you already get a direction clear, then your supervisor will monitor your progress. Yeah, they want to see that you every time you have improvement. Yeah, you're approaching your final goal. So your supervisor start to monitor your progress more frequently than before. Yeah, because you know that you can run, but what they worry is that whether you can finish on time. Yeah, you can graduate on time and you are in the right direction. Yeah, so that they're coaching you until you finish. And finally, as a supporter to an independent researcher, yeah, this supporter mean a lot of things, not only as a supervisor. Yeah, a lot of supervisors may forget about this, their role is that they are not only as a mentor, as a director, or as a coach, they also as a supporter. What means a supporter? Even the students have graduated, yeah, eventually finish their PhD, finish their Viva, and successfully pass their Viva, everything. They thought their role is done. No. Supervisors to provide advice to the student what they can do next. Yeah, helping them to write a supporting letter, helping them if the student apply for a job, they can serve as a referee, sort of things. Yeah, maybe recognize the student, suggest the student to any vacancy that they might know, come across, sort of thing. So keep supporting the student, especially those young researchers when they just started their career as a lecturer or researcher. They they are they are new a new kid on the block. Although they haven't got their PhD, they have a master, but overall, they're still very new, very junior in the research world. A lot of things they still need guidance. Are you after they become a doctor or something? Like for example, how to apply a grant. You take an example for recently the Ministry of Higher Education. For young researchers who want to apply a research grant from the Ministry of Higher Education to get fund, they need a mentor from a professor. Yeah, a mentor for a professor in their research for application. So the supervisor can play a role in that. Yeah, they can become serve as a mentor for the helping the young researcher. They even can collaborate with the young researcher after they go back to their institution, they go back to their university, go back to their country. They still can keep in touch and collaborate together, use their experience, use their connection, helping the young researcher to progress in their career. So this is what the supervisor should do, and that's what we, as a student, we expect the supervisor that can help us. Yeah. So understand this, that will be help a lot in the that will be helping a lot in your career. Yeah, you can understand that the role of the supervisor is more than just a kind of teacher or something. Yeah, there's a possible timeline that if we don't manage our supervisor well, it's unfortunately that's sadly true. If we don't get along with the supervisor well, then what happen is that year one you might be very enthusiastic, you might be enthusiastic, you want to achieve something, but year two you start to confuse due to your your poor relationship with your supervisor, you don't manage them well, then you might confuse. And some third year, you might feel panic, and the final year, you might have experience an existential crisis that you might not be able to complete your thesis. So this is not what we expect to be happen. Yeah, as a student, you never want to come across this. This is a crisis. So that's why I say that it's very important to look after your relationship with your supervisor by managing them well. But before that, we know how to manage our supervisor. We should know that what the key role of the research degree supervisor do. Yeah. By understanding what the research supervisor doing, that is help us to understand that what that we can do with that, what we can work with them. Yeah. You have to understand uh, the supervisor role so that it help to build a good healthy relationship between you and your supervisor. The key role of the supervisor is to assist and support a student throughout their academic study. Yeah, always remember this. So a good supervisor they should always support and assist the student. Yeah, I don't mean that they don't know. Most of the supervisor, they are experienced. They know what they should do. They know their role very clear. But there are some young supervisor, they might very too enthusiastic and too maybe too energetic. They might mix up the role. They are the researcher or they are the supervisor. Yeah, that's why very important that you have to make sure that the supervisor understand their role. Yeah, but anyway, whatever there are, they should assist and support the student. Yeah, if not, that's not a good supervisor should be. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, that's the thing. So the role of a PhD supervisor is to provide guidance and research design, helping you to define your research question, design your study, and develop your methodology. They can't do everything for you, but when you do something, they're helping you refining it. Okay, maybe you can improve from this, and you can do something like that. That can help you to improve, help you to adjust your research design and guide you through what your research question. Yeah, how to identify what's your research question and maybe help you to develop your methodology and give you some feedback, give you some guidance. Yeah, the feedback on work, yeah, reviewing your draft, providing a constructive criticism, and suggesting improvement. That's also the work of the supervisor. The supervisor should be able to do this. Yeah, they have to, when you draft a paper, you prepare to submit to a conference, you prepare to submit to a journal, or seminar or talk, whatever, the supervisor should be able to give a review of draft and provide a constructive comments, yeah, on your draft. And the supervisor should support and be a mentorship for you. So offer emotional and professional support. Sometimes people say that, oh, we don't mix up personal issue as a supervisor and supervisee. Yes, supervisor cannot develop a personal relationship with the supervisee. What you mean here with that something beyond, I mean, the supervisee and the supervisor relationship. Yeah, we don't want to be developed into an affair or something, but some emotional support is needed, especially along I start supervising student in 2003, so almost like 23 years that supervising a student. Student like us, human being, we have emotion. We are having all kind of issue in our life, not only in the working life, not only in the study life, but we have. I always told my students at the very beginning of the study, I say that actually the more challenging part in your study is not it's not the technical issue. I think technically it's not that difficult to handle. Yeah, whatever technical issue eventually can be solved. Yeah, I also strongly believe that the technical issue can be easy to solve. But the most difficult part, more challenging part is frustration. A lot of things come along during our study. Frustration is the most challenging part. So supervisors should understand, should be sensitive to the student. Yeah. Student might also have a time that when they are down, they're upset. due to some personal issue or something, we as a supervisor might not able to help, especially the student experience something very personal, family affair or something that they might unable to they will disturb their progress or something. What you do as a supervisor is be understanding. So don't push your student during their hard time. Yeah, be understandable. So everybody needs some time for themselves, some space for themselves. So, but from time to time, give them some control. Tell them that okay, we are always there for you. Whenever you are ready, we can come and talk to me. So give them support, emotional support, and professional support. Definitely, we have to tell them, provide them give them the support on the facility, how to help them to get a connection. Yeah, especially they want to do a field work, you help them to prepare the letters or some things like that, so that they can get to access to the site or something. So these are all professional support. I know administrative assistant guide you through the administrative requirement of your PhD program, such as ethical approval and progress review. For example, if you are involving the animal testing or something, your supervisor you need to apply and get a support for your supervisor, a supporting letter from supervisor to get a permission from the board to 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 achieve to do the kind of research on the animal testing or some ethical issue. So supervisor also have to help you through all these administration thing. Yeah. So as I tell that, supervisor have all kind of format alpha affection. So so supervisor some supervisor are approachable, easy to approach. Some supervisor are hard to approach. But we will talk about more on the different difficult type of supervisor later. Yeah. But in general, we say that we assume that all the supervisors are supportive. So role of your supervisor, we agreeing on the suitable program of the study and appropriate training for with you. Your supervisor to encourage you to go to attend any necessary training. For example, the literature review courses by library or HES. They are suggesting that you to go attend those courses, journal writing workshop or something, or maybe some training on the certain equipment because they think that you needed some experience in understanding how to operate those machines, sort of thing. So any suitable program they propose and encourage you to attend. Giving comment and suggestion on your written work, this is easy to understand, that we mentioned before. Ensuring that at the end of the first year review, subsequent annual review, and are held and reported properly. Because like in UPM, every semester end, the supervisor had to submit a progress report. So the supervisor should actually monitoring your progress and give a report to the HGS to to report about your progress, what you have done, and what until what stage you are in, so that they have to monitoring you. So this is the role of the supervisor. So yeah, and supporting you to plan and manage your research effectively with the aim with, with the aim of submitting your thesis within the expected period. The good supervisor should try to guide you so that you can graduate on time or at least in between the time frame available. Yeah. They have to try. Of course, some people say that this is all very dependent on the student. Yes, with the encouragement of the supervisor, that student will be progress well, yeah, better than just left alone. That's why I think the role of supervisor also try to monitor the student in their progress and make sure that the student can graduate between the time frame. Being the first point of contact, if there are any problem, whether intellectual, practical, or emotional, you may want to discuss. Yeah, the supervisor can be a counselor, can be a advisor, can be your big brother or big sister that they should help you, support you, keep you if you have any problem. Giving guidance on academic publishing and career. Your supervisor have more experience in publishing, so they should able to guide you through the academic publishing and also career. As I mentioned before, that your supervisor to help you to prepare a supporting letter when you apply for a job if you are a master student, you plan to further study maybe in UPM or maybe in other university, your supervisors could be a reference for you. Okay. So what the student usually expect a supervisor to? As a student, you must have a lot of expectation to the supervisor, be supportive of you both intellectual and personally. I think this all in general, all the students will think of that. You like the supervisor who can be support you in both intellectually and personally, give you a guidance how to through your research, and personally they can be a listener to you. Yeah, maybe you feel a bit upset, you feel a bit down due to something, so your supervisor can be a good listener to you. Yeah. So, but they can't really personally help you too much, but you are expecting some support for them. And that's very important. Set out a viable project and ensure that you have a clear idea and aim and objective of the initiative or plan. I think the thing is that a lot of supervisors they leave the student alone. They think that I think at the beginning I also had a big mistake like this. But I think the thing is that like my supervisor did, he gave me a general title and asked me to do literature first and then find my own scope. I think that kind of training is good. It makes you strong if you can do it. But a lot of students without a good experience, there will be a quite a puzzling stage. Yeah, giving a general title and ask you to find your own scope at the beginning, that is very tough. So you still need a supervisor to help to set a boundary for you, maybe what to look into it. Yeah, and of course, reading the literature review helping you to know that what people have done, but it might not able to help you to determine what you should do next. So the supervisor need to guide you, set a boundary. Yeah, especially when you do look at the scope, sometimes the scope might be too broad. Yeah, so that you don't know where to stop, where is the boundary, where is the limit for my stuff. Remember that if you are doing a PhD, you are only having a 3 years to 5 years time. Yeah, to complete your study. It's not encouraged you to have longer. It doesn't mean you can't, but it's not encouraged. So if possible, we want to complete on time, maybe in 3 years or 3.5 years, we want to complete a PhD. So you know that time is a constraint. So be very careful and plan. So you know that your supervisor should able to help you with this. Provide an adequate workspace for you. Yeah. You want if you want to do a lab, you know that where the lab is. The supervisor have a lab for you or a lab place for you. Yeah, if something that you can work on. So this is what they expect for a supervisor. I think that's reasonable. And be available or provide an identical substitute to talk about. So if your supervisor is a busy person, they should assign a co-supervisor that be able to assist you. Yeah. Just like most of the time that the supervisor might be a busy person. Yeah. So you make sure that the supervisor is having the course supervisor or committee that be able to talk to able to help you guide you when you need whenever you need the assistant. Yeah, that's very important. Yeah, that's why you this why I say that I highlight this feels like well the student expectation of supervisor because during the discussion with your supervisor, you can highlight all these issues at the very beginning of the supervisor, try to tell them what you expect from them. Okay, help to guide you. The supervisor should also help to guide you especially in your first year, help you to the second year. Yeah, you see there's a difference. First year is help and guide you because you are still don't know what is a boundary. Yeah. So in the first year, the supervisor should very closely monitor you and help you to guide you extensively in the first year. Yeah. So that try to set you a boundary so that you know your track. So once you're on the track, it's just like a train on the right track, you just move forward. Yeah. In the second year, you more or less know that what's your direction and what's your boundary. So in the second year, they'll just need to help you whatever you needed, support or something, and being a sounding board in your third year. The third year is when you almost finish writing up stage. So your supervisor should be just as a as a monitoring, just monitoring your progress, and also as leading a draft or something. The help should be tempered as you develop confidence on your own ability and research skill to enable you to learn the work on your own and to make more of your own decision. I always tell the student that remember that your PhD is yours, not your supervisor. A lot of people misunderstand that. Oh, this is my supervisor work, not mine. No, always remember your PhD work is yours, not your supervisor. Yeah. You are the one who responsible for your work. You are the one who eventually sit in the Viva room to defend your work. Your supervisors can only sit there, but they cannot help you to defend the question, the answer the question or help you to defend. Yeah, you are the one eventually have to defend or to justify all what you've done. So, but your supervisor, before you submit a final thesis, your supervisor to try to make sure that you don't do an obvious mistake. Yeah, that's what the supervisor can do. So your supervisor in a long time they'll help to develop, make you independent. Yeah, then you can work alone yourself. Yeah, help to develop a skill in the technical writing, oral presentation, problem definition, statistical data analysis, and critical literature review. As I say that all these skills are the skill you need to learn from your postgraduate study. Yeah. So that's why, who else even a school leaver can do a PhD or master easily. Yeah. That, so that's why they make you different. You're being called as a doctor because you learn all these skills. It doesn't mean that the doctor have anything special. Yes, there are something special, but at the end of the day, you possess all these skills. That make you different. So when you expect these things for a supervisor, that is very common. So enable you to attend at least one international conference or national conference. Here, sorry to say, nowadays it's difficult to send students for international conference because due to the budget limitation. Last time I used to send my student to international conference, but now due to budget constraint, it's not easier for us to find an international conference. But there are a lot of international conference that held in Malaysia. So I think if possible, we expect the supervisor can at least send you to one of the two of the conference because conference is very important for student development, yeah, in their career development, especially to develop your network, to develop your confidence, to share your field, your knowledge, to get an opinion and feedback from the peer. That is very important for you to attend the conference so that you know who are working in the same field and you can get the feedback from your peers. So, yeah, yeah. So this is where, especially expert opinions. Yeah. You can expect also to the supervisor to provide adequate resource, fund and or facility for research project, or else how are you going to do research? Yeah, if your supervisor doesn't have enough support in the term of finance, in terms of the facility, in terms of resources, everything is not there. I think and even the best chef cannot cook. You see, even they are Michelin star, 3-star chef, but tell you that you don't have a kitchen, you don't have a wok, you don't have pan, you don't have anything. So how are you going to cook? Yeah, even if you're a 3-star Michelin 3-star chef, you also cannot make any cuisine. Yeah, that's important. So the supervisor should provide enough support in terms of funding, in terms of the facility, in terms of the resources. Yeah, this is the basic thing you can request for a supervisor. Rate your thesis thoroughly and make the constructive comment on both style and the intellectual content. This is the responsibility of the supervisor, and supervisor should actually expect to do that for you. Yeah, it's okay. So in return, what the supervisor expect for the student to do, to display initiative. Ultimately, the person who drive the process and try to understand the research area is you. You are the student. The supervisor expect that you do the work, they take the initiative. Supervisor expects students to be curious about their research. Yeah, that's one of the intellectual uh, development. The supervisor wants you to be curious about your work, to be curious about your field. So to think what else people haven't done, what else people haven't saw, why people don't do it in this way, why people do it in that way. So you have to have a question. Yeah, it's important to help you to develop your research question. So you must have an attitude of curiosity. Yeah. Doesn't mean the curiosity kill a cat. Indeed research we never kill a cat. But curiosity is important for the beginning of your research. You have to be curious in everything. Or don't assume that anyone else have done is always correct. They might make a mistake. They might have something where you can enhance, you can even further develop or further improve. So that's why the research is always a continual process. So you should remain always curious and to think about how the other people work and idea have an impact on what you are doing. That's important. In light of this, it's requirement for students to attend all the lab meeting and work in progress discussion and in addition to other seminars so that you know that what people have done, what people have actually progressing. So always keep up yourself up to date. Your supervisor expect that you are taking initiative to improve yourself, not just waiting for him to give you a feedback. Okay, they think this is outdated. You don't have to go there. Yeah, before your supervisor tell you that these people have been reported before, you should be able to tell your supervisor, okay, we're going to go to this direction because this have been reported before, and I found that what they report might be not as perfect as what, but we can do something else to improve our. I think that what your supervisor will be impressed. But if you wait until your supervisor to tell you, I think that is very bad. Your supervisor doesn't have any good impression toward you because you think that you might be too passive. Okay. So beside that, your supervisor also expect you to develop your own skill. Yeah, you should build on your existing skill and learn new one by attending a professional skill courses and lecture provided by the School of Graduate Study, library department, between the university and by any other external provider. For example, you might not know how to use a EndNote. You might not know how to use a Mendeley. So you can't expect your supervisor to come here and teach you. The supervisor expect that you go to learn by yourself because since university and library and the HGS have provided all sorts of supporting courses, the supervisor think that you should take initiative to attend those courses to improve your skill. Yeah, of course, the supervisor should encourage you. Yeah, but if you can take your own initiative to learn, your supervisor will be more happy. Yeah, it's wiser to keep up with your field. Yeah, especially to keep up with your field. There will be often a new work published in your topic, and you will need to stay up to date with the literature in your field. As I told you before, your work is yours. Your supervisor cannot always like become a scopus or something to update you. You are the one who should always read the literature, refer to the literature, the latest one, what is going on in your field, so you can report to your supervisor. And your supervisor also expect you to provide regular reports. Students will be diligent about the keeping a library notebook, regular entering all the data into an electronic form from backup, archiving. Yeah, that's very important. I always tell the student to be very, very careful. Back up your data. Yeah, back up your data, archiving your data, or else anything happen is 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 bad, it's sad. Okay, so always enter your data in the cloud or backup your data in another copy. Your supervisor will still will want to be kept informed on how the student doing. I think this is important for us. All no supervisor doesn't want to know what the student are progressing. Yeah, all the supervisor hope that the student will take initiative to report to them. Be aware of the safety at all times. Follow the safety procedure, especially if students are working in the laboratory. If you have to do a laboratory work, make sure that safety first. Always remember safety first. Yeah. If anything happen to you, not only yourself in trouble, your supervisor also may be in trouble. Yeah, your supervisor might also feel guilty for life. So make sure that you read or you follow all the safety regulation when you are in the lab. Yeah, make sure that you attend the safety briefing. Yeah, so to make yourself safe. Your supervisor doesn't want you to anything to happen to you. Unlikely. Yeah, understand your funding. If you are a sponsored student, let's say you receive a scholarship, let's say you receive a sponsorship for your government or ministry or anything, they have a requirement from you. Yeah, you must be, like say, for example, such like I have a student from Iraq, their government, they're sponsored by the government, they say that they told me that they have to finish on time in 2 years. Yeah, or else they will get penalty. Yeah, I also have students sponsored by University of Malaysia Pahang. They also have to have YY in 4 or 5 years, 4 years. So or else they'll get penalty. So all these things you have to understand your regulation and let your supervisor know. So your supervisor to try to monitor your progress so that to make sure that you won't get into trouble. So this is very important. And as there are some criteria, let's say the confidential data cannot disclose something. So all these things you have to acknowledge your supervisor so they will take note on that. So, okay. And supervisor also expect the student to be self-critical, take a detached view of your own work and result, and use this skill to be skeptical of result in the wider literature around you or subject for further advice and visit the reflection page. So you can refer your own reference. So your supervisor always have to ask you to keep your note, yeah, their own notes so that you can always refer. Yeah. You have to be very critical to yourself. You have to always ask questions to yourself, not just keep a note on in your hard disk and you don't you don't do anything on that. Okay. So collaborate with others. Student will be expected to work within a colleague, especially with less experienced one. Yeah, you need to do with people. So you cannot avoid to work with people. So the supervisor I hope that you become a good team member and share your finding and take the opportunity to share the finding with your research externally and between the wider university committee. So that's why the supervisor encouraged you to go attend the conference. First, what not expected for your supervisor? First, a fascination for your research. If you don't believe in it, nobody else will. I think that's very common. Yeah, you first have to believe your work is fantastic. So don't expect your supervisor to excite you about your dissertation topic. You have to like your topic. I think all 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 the supervisor would tell you that how good you are, how something. I think it doesn't mean they're stingy, but I think it's that yeah, because they believe that this is your own topic. That's your work. Yeah, it's your own work. So you should be able excited with your work. You should be actually like your work, love your work. Okay, your assignments should be so contentious that even the most skeptical advisor will be in the end value of what you do. So you should impress your supervisor, not your supervisor to impress you. Okay, this is your job. So don't expect your supervisor to do that. Yeah, it doesn't mean your supervisor is stingy in praising you, but it's just saying that you should actually make yourself believe that that's your work is the best in the world. Yeah, why not? Second, you should not expect the supervisor to be kind in the headmaster, like kind of headmaster who hand out the order and expect you to report back every week. You yourself are responsible for the planning and progress of the project. Yeah. Don't have to ask the supervisor to chase you. Hey, where is the report? Where is the report? You should take the initiative. Yeah. The supervisor, like the student, can take their own initiative. They don't have to push them or follow up with them. Okay, so that's what happened. Although the pack of the time, that will be nice, but most of them don't hand out the compliment too often. I don't. You might find that your supervisor a little bit stingy in compliment you. Yeah, they don't even say that. Hey, well done, you have done a good job. They say okay. Most of the time they say okay. It sounds good. Okay, acceptable. Not bad. Yeah, you might feel a bit hurt. Yeah, I have done a good job. My supervisor to say not bad. It's okay, acceptable. Why do you say fantastic, great job? You have done the best of the world in the world, but not you hardly heard this from your supervisor. Yeah, don't expect too much from that. What they mean is that they know that your job is good. Yeah, but it's not their way to compliment you and make you think that you are something. Yeah, they are task oriented and tend to focus on things that can be done better, not on the things that are okay. That's why they always think that your work is good, it's great, but even can be greater. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why they sometimes they look stingy in compliment. That's very normal. And something, so you know that what you expect, your sponsor expect, and what you expect. So establishing a clear expectation is important between both parties. Frequency of meeting, agree on how often you will meet and prefer method of communication, in person, email, or video call. So that's important. Very, very clear at the beginning. If your supervisor is a busy person, let's say he's a dean, he's a deputy vice chancellor, he's a vice chancellor, he might be too busy to meet you very frequent. So what do you expect? How frequent they should you should meet? Once a month, once in 2 weeks? Yeah. So you have to make sure that you then keep a record of that. Okay. So whatever is it, you must make sure that you have in touch with him or her. Yeah. So don't say that because they are busy, so I don't care. Maybe once a year I meet him. That's not the right way. But you have to and if he is busy, maybe we can communicate by email. Maybe we can communicate with WhatsApp, maybe with a video call. Sometimes I communicate with my student at night, use a video call. Yeah, we discuss the topic because I'm busy at some time. So I say that okay, maybe the weekend evening we can have a video call to discuss about the topic. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, for me, it's okay. I mean, but you have to get agreement with your supervisor because some supervisor that they need a privacy at the weekend, so they don't prefer to have any meeting in the weekend. So you have to understand your supervisor flavor. Response time. Clarify expected response time for email and feedback on draft. Your supervisor might be busy, but no matter how busy, there must be expect time, or else they will drag on and infinity. Yeah. So you don't want the unknown feedback time. Yeah. It's good that you tell that, okay, if I kindly ask your supervisor nicely, this is a draft. May I know that when I can get the feedback? Yeah, he might give you roughly about 2 to 3 days. Okay, I'll come back to you 3 days later. So, okay, you follow up with him or her. Since he promised 2 or 3 days, yeah, even though he cannot fulfill it 2 or 3 days, at least you had to follow up. Okay, you follow up with him or her. Okay, to tell them, okay, yeah, may I know the feedback of the draft or something? So if you don't do that, they think that it's not important. You're not feeling any urgency. So you have to fit the expectation and you have to follow up. And work deadline, set a deadline for submitting work and receiving feedback. So not even you expect your supervisor deadline, also to also set a deadline for yourself. You promise your supervisor, okay, I'm going to finish this draft of the first draft of the marginal paper in 1 month time. Okay, you tell your supervisor 1 month time, I finish the draft, then you make sure that you keep it on the promise so that you can, and also your supervisor to have the deadline to receive your feedback. Okay. The role and responsibility, discuss your respective role and responsibility and avoid misunderstanding. So make sure that you discuss with your supervisor what you need to do, what they expect you to do. Just now we mentioned earlier what expectation from you and what expectation from him. So make sure that you clear about both sides responsibility. So it's nothing awful or something. It's better to be clear at the beginning because otherwise you're blaming each other. I told you before, but they actually never told each other. Yeah, just an illusion that you might have been talking to each other on that. So I always say that where it's good at the beginning, you establishing your expectation for both parties. Sorry, sorry, I can hear. You can hear you can see the screen moving. Okay. Okay. You can hear me, yeah? Sure, okay. I continue. Effective communication. I think this is a crucial part in the relationship of the supervisor and supervisee. How to develop a good effective communication is crucial. Yeah, as a supervisee or as a student, you should always be prepared. You don't come to a meeting with the bare hand. Yeah, you come to a meeting prepared with an agenda, question, and any document you want to discuss. List out the point you want to tell your supervisor. List out the question you want to ask. list out the data, prepare a short note, that short note. Maybe you have done some experiment, then drew it in the table or make it into a graph, then read some discussion. So that don't need to be a full report, but something to prepare. Don't tell the supervisor. I have an experience that my supervisor come to me, show me a few graphs, and expect that I understand what he tried to tell me. This is very bad. It's very rude to me because I think that you try to test me or something. Yeah, I expect you to tell me what you actually done, what you have analyzed. Not I try to analyze for you. Yeah, you should tell me that what you have done, and I see that whether it's logic or it's sensible or is that acceptable. Yeah, so it always come with in prepare. Yeah, never come without preparation. Okay, you should be always be prepared. Yeah. So this show the respect to your supervisor, that time and help to get you to get the most of each meeting, because your supervisor also a busy person most of the time. So you be well prepared, you save for party time. Yeah. Sometimes your supervisor can only allocate 1 hour for you. Like last time when I did my PhD, my supervisor always can meet me after the working hours. I mean, I had to wait outside his office until 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So then he managed to see me for half an hour to 1 hour. Yeah, that's very common. So be very careful, be prepared. So I always have to be prepared so that we won't waste time meeting each other. So be clear and concise when communicate via email or in meeting. Be clear and concise about your need, question, and concern. Just straight to the point. Yeah, list out. Make sure that is understandable, it's clear. You don't have to flourish your work because you are not writing a novel or essay. Yeah. So when you communicate with email, communicate with message, or in the meeting, make sure that you make it clear and concise. So that's why just straight to the point, easy understand what you're trying to ask. And regular update, keep your supervisor informed about your progress and any challenge you encounter. Regular help update help maintain a sense of momentum and ensure your supervisor is aware of your progress. Okay, upgrading your progress is important. Your supervisor will know until what stage you are in. Yeah. So if we can tell him that, okay, so that he feel comfortable and he feel relief, so that he doesn't want to push you too hard. Yeah, you always update him with the data, with the report, with the progress. So your supervisor don't have to monitor you so often because he know that he can trust you. Yeah. Or else that the supervisor must always try to control you, try to guide you, try to monitor you because he doesn't trust you. So this is why how you manage him. So he make you comfortable, make him trust you. Then he just wait for your feedback. Then he say he can relax and okay, no, okay, I don't need to disturb this student because I can trust him. Okay, that's why you manage them. And the most important thing, the problem. A lot of students try to hide the problem from their supervisor. They think that they can solve it. If it's a small problem, you can solve it yourself. Then doesn't matter. You can talk to your colleague, talk to your friends, talk to your peer, then talk to the technician to help you solve it yourself. But if the problem is big, they say you cannot handle yourself, you don't wait too long to tell a supervisor. Discuss with a supervisor what kind of alternative, what kind of solution we can. Let's say the machine break down. You don't wait until 3 months later to tell the supervisor, I have no progress because my machine is break down. Your supervisor was so upset. Why didn't you tell me earlier? I can look for an alternative for you. I can find the resources for you. Maybe you can send outside to do the test, sort of thing. Yeah. So I think this is common. I think students so outside that they worry their supervisor not happy. But other than your supervisor not happy, then your progress will be affected. Yeah, that's why you have to be very careful. So clarity is better than friendship. Establish a ground rule and clear boundary of both of you. You might want to make your supervisor as a friend. You want him to be happy. But the most important thing is that making sure that both parties understand what they need, yeah, what they expect. That's more important. So clarity is better than friendship. You can make friends your supervisor, but make sure that you know your role and your supervisor know his role and responsibility. That's the thing. The problem in the supervisor is relationship, ambiguity, and the conflict. Supervisor must remain alert of the sign of conflict. When the value of supervisor and supervisee are different, they may not be the same page or with the reference of goal to goal. Sometimes you have your own opinion, your supervisor have a different opinion. So make sure that your supervisor and you agree on that. That need a communication to go in. So if lack of the communication, then might have this happen. Due to lack of communication or time to share the view on various issue or agenda can lead to the interpersonal tension between supervisor and supervisee. This is what you don't want. Yeah. So you should always communicate with your supervisor whenever you find that your supervisor expectation might be divert from what have done. Yeah. So your supervisor expect that you do this, but when after because you are the one who handle the experiment, who do the research, you know that sometimes something is a dead end. So you got to frankly tell your supervisor, even though we both of you disagree with each other, yeah, but we have to frankly, okay, the, to avoid the conflict. Building a professional relationship, respect boundary, understand your supervisor boundary and workload. Avoid contacting them outside agree upon hours unless it's emergency. Your supervisor also a father, also a mother, also a brother, sister, also a son or daughter for others. So they also have their personal life. So never disturb them unless necessary. Of course, if you have an encounter an emergency, you cannot handle yourself, so they cannot avoid to communicate and to contact him. That's okay, acceptable. But most of the time, try to respect them after the office hour or something. Don't try to disturb them. Maybe you can send them an email. Maybe you can send, unless it's emergency, then you call them and message them. Yeah. Be open to feedback. Supervisors sometimes they will criticize or comments on something you are not happy. Yeah, accept constructive criticism basically and to use it to improve your work. Sometimes your supervisor might be giving you some feedback that you are not happy. He might disagree with your view. Yeah, take it positively. Yeah, to help to improve your work. Yeah, remember that the feedback is intended to help you to develop as a researcher. Show initiative, demonstrate your commitment to your research by taking initiative, propose new ideas, seek out the additional resources, and show enthusiasm for your work. Yeah, this is very important. Trust and honesty. Both our supervisor and supervisee must be honest with each other. Don't hide. If you don't get the result, yeah, you try to please your supervisor, you modify your data, fixate your information, or fixate your experiment data or something. That's bad. Yeah. Those not because you want to please your supervisor, you change everything to make you feel happy or able to, and you make your supervisor to be able to trust you. Because once you make a mistake, you facilitate your data or something, the trust is broken and he won't ever trust you. Not only affected you yourself, but also affected your supervisor. Your supervisor reputation might be also be affected by you because you make a mistake. Yeah. So be very careful about that. Yeah. Make sure that you make each other trust each other. Supervisor must be honest to provide a constructive feedback and suggesting delivery solution. And important. Supervisor as a student should be able to honest raise the difficult issue in front of the supervisor and also need to trust the supervisor to provide honest response and solution to those issues. Openness and sincere is important. Both the party need to be fair and open to their thought and view. They should be able to express their feeling, discuss their relationship on various agenda, interact with each other, and openness and sincerity. Sincerity is a key. Okay, sincerity toward the team and the workplace from the both the party is also essential to maintain a healthy professional relationship. In case of conflict idea, that should be discussed openly and in this relationship. So if you have a conflict, you don't disagree with each other on the point, you should be open-minded. Yeah, accept criticism, accept the comment. Okay, don't argue, don't argue each other with each other and maybe quarrel. Okay, that's not the best thing. Yeah, never quarrel with a supervisor. even though he might be wrong. Yeah, make sure that you talk to him with facts. Yeah, prove to him with facts. Yeah, the evidence, not to argue. Navigating the conflict, address the issue earlier. Don't let the minor issue fester. If you have a conflict, so address it earlier. Don't make it propagate. Address a concern earlier before that escalated into the bigger problem. Stay professional. Keep your interaction professional even when discussing a difficult issue. Focus on the problem or not the person. Yeah, maybe you have a different opinion with your supervisor. Yeah, your supervisor suggests you to do this, and you believe that that's not a right way to do that. So be professional. Try to convince your supervisor why you shouldn't do that with the facts, with the evidence, with the proof. Not just argue that I just don't like it. Yeah. You don't like it doesn't mean you don't have to do it. Yeah. That's a thing, two different things. So be careful. Yeah. If you feel unsafe to do that certain work, then you have to tell your supervisor this is very dangerous or something that I don't feel confident to do that. If your supervisor insists you to do that, then they have to provide you some training or maybe assist you or maybe get a expert or professional person to assist you to do that. Yeah, never put you in the risk. Yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah. If you don't feel confident to do something, you need something skill or something, then you have to talk to the supervisor. The supervisor should send you on training. For example, your supervisor asks you to do a CFD modeling. Yeah. They say that you don't even have learned the CFD before, the computational fluid dynamic before. So your supervisor should provide you the training, send you for training before, or send or request an expert to guide you. Yeah. Or else that you don't know how to start, you might delay your progress or two. So that's also not your supervisor want to see. Yeah. Document the communication, keep the record of your communication and meeting with your supervisor. This can be useful if you need to refer back to previous discussion of conflict issue. Always keep a record. Like just like a meeting, you have a minute. Yeah. Keep what your supervisor you have discussed with your supervisor. If possible, send a copy to a supervisor so that both of you could have a copy. Next time the supervisor say, hey, why you never told me? And you tell him that I just send you the email according to what I discussed before. Yeah. And you never comment on that. Yeah. I believe that you agree with it. Okay. Yeah. Maybe you in your email you ask them that if anything you would like to comment. So maximizing your meeting, that's important. Set an agenda, prepare the agenda of each meeting, outlining the topic you want to discuss. Share it with your supervisor beforehand to ensure that they are prepared as well. Yeah. So your supervisor also need to prepare, not only you. Tell your supervisor know that what you want to ask, what you want to discuss, so that they can in advance prepare in advance. Okay. Prioritize the issue. Focus on the most important issue first. If you have a lot to discuss, prioritizing a topic to make sure that the critical one are addressed. So maybe you have so many issues you want to discuss with your supervisor, and your supervisor have a very limited time. Then prioritize what issue is coming. The most important one come first. Yeah. So just discuss, try to solve those most critical one first. Okay. Be specific and summarize the key point. When discussing your work, be specific about your feedback, what you need, and instead of asking a general comment, request a feedback on particular section or aspect at your work. And at the end of the meeting, summarize the key point, discuss agree upon the action item. Leveraging additional source, not just rely on your supervisor. Yeah, sometimes you don't just solely based on your supervisor. Yeah, you need to enhance the relationship. I remember that I think if I'm not mistaken, every first lecture, at the end of first lecture, sometime I would share something with my student in the research preparatory class. I will highlight the 4M. One of the M, like 4M is like machinery, material, method and manpower. There's four things that you need to concern before you start your research. But what the manpower here, it means that sometimes you need people that not only your supervisor who can help you. That's why You know, rely on your supervisor. You have to be prepared. You need a peer network. Engage yourself with a peer, your friend, your classmate, your researcher in your lab. Yeah, they can offer valuable support and feedback and collaborate. So you might have a good relationship with your technician. You get a cost supervisor support. Yeah, the supervisor might be a busy person. You don't always solely rely on your supervisor. Workshop and seminar. Attend a workshop and seminar and conference will broaden your knowledge and network with other researchers. That's particularly important. Make sure that you utilize the conference and seminar to meet people so that you can understand. You can understand, you can know what the people are doing now, you can follow up what the current station, and you can get to know people who work in the same field with you or relevant field. Yeah. Professional association. Join the professional association in your field, access resources, mentorship, and networking. Usually in the professional association, you can meet expert or people who work in certain field. They can provide you the expertise that you might need or support you need. Get to know people who good in certain field area. Then I think the one of the important thing is time management. Managing your time expectation. Set realistic goal, set achievable goal and deadline for your research. Avoid committing and be realistic about what you can accomplish between a given time frame. So don't be too ambitious. Some people say, like for example, your thesis. I always tell my student that you at least have to reserve 6 months for your thesis writing. 6 months actually is not enough, but at least there's a minimum 6 months you have to be reserved for that. So don't opt out ambitious promise of supervisor. I can done my thesis in 3 months. Yeah, I think this is over ambitious. Yeah, yeah. So better be realistic. If you are struggling to meet a deadline or dealing with a personal challenge, communicate this with your supervisor as soon as possible. They may be able to offer support and adjust expectation. Yeah, that's the thing. Always have to communicate with your supervisor and set a reasonable timeline. Prioritize the task. Prioritize your tasks and focus on high impact activity. Use tools like to-do lists and project management software to stay organized. Which is more important? Yeah, your experimental work, which part of the experimental work is the most important part, that whichever you should do it first. Yeah, writing a conference paper is more important, or writing your thesis is more important. So you have to know that which one is come first, which part of the experiment you need to do first, the simulation need to do first, or you need to complete the experimental work first. So whatever is more important, you prioritize. If you don't really know, discuss with your supervisor. Okay. So that your supervisor very happy to provide you support. Yeah. Maintain a work-life balance. This is what I always tell you. Your life is not only work. Yeah. 3 years time doesn't mean that all the time you have to be in your lab, all the time you are in your desk on the desk to write, to read your papers, or to write your papers, or do your work. Yeah. Be balance. You need to do sport. Sometimes you need to take a break, go to have a movie. Yeah. Go to play with your kid in the theme park or something. Make yourself relax. Yeah, life is not just work. You have to make sure you balance. I remember that during my PhD study, my third year, yeah, from time to time, whenever I found that I cannot continue, yeah, I really did the bottleneck. What I decided to do is I just stop everything and I decide to take a short trip to the nearby township to have a short traveling. Yeah, just go at a half day travel. Yeah, totally empty my mind. Don't want to think anything about my research. When I'm ready, then I relax, I come back and then continue. Yeah. So you really need to balance your life. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to make your study affected your family relationship. You don't want to ignore your children. You don't want to ignore your wife, your husband. Yeah, make sure that you really do a good life. And also particularly important is health, your health. Make sure that you have enough exercise, you have enough sleep. Yeah, don't ignore those factors. Yeah, yeah. You are coming for your PhD, not coming to fight for your life. Okay, so make sure that you take care of your mental and physical health. A healthy work-life balance is essential for sustained productivity and well-being. Managing expected action and boundary. Clarify expectation early. I think you need to discuss with your supervisor what you want. Yeah, on the onset, discuss and clarify the expectation around the workload. How many what how if you have a time constraint, they say you cannot work in the weekend, you cannot work in a certain day, let your supervisor know. Yeah. Your timeline, communication, feedback. Let your supervisor know what your constraint. Yeah. So better have an understanding earlier. Yeah. Or else that the misunderstand will happen. Having a detailed conversation about this element and to prevent a misunderstanding. Your supervisor might think you are lazy, you're always missing. Yeah, you have to tell them that you have certain things you have to take care of the children in the few days, in the weeks, and you have to let him know or let her know. Yeah. Respect time. Both of you and your supervisor time are valuable. Not only your time is valuable, your supervisor time also valuable. Make sure that to respect their ability and be punctual for meeting. If you have set the time 2 o'clock, then make sure you be available at 2 o'clock. Yeah, prepare in advance and make that efficient use of the time allocate. Then the set boundary, establish the boundary regarding the personal time and professional time. Then, if, for instance, agree on the appropriate time to contact and the mode of communication used in the differentiation. Yeah, this is important. Should we clarify uh, at the beginning? Yeah, the expectation at the beginning. Yes, you definitely have. Clarify expectation is important to your relationship with your supervisor. It's advisable to identify this area where you and your supervisor may disagree. Yeah. Yeah. You should better tell them what you want to do and what you don't want to do, what you disagree. Yeah, better discuss it earlier. Discussion about the supervisor and student expectation at the start of the candidature do not mean that the conflict will be avoided. But however, the conflict can have a positive outcome if handled with understanding. If you think that you don't really like to do the programming, for example, you don't want to do programming, you don't want to be a free work because due to certain reason, because of health, because of personal reason, let him or her know. Okay, so that we can achieve certain agreement. Develop a support network. It's very important. I always tell my students, you need a peer support. Don't work alone. Yeah, connect with fellow PhD students to share experience, advice, and encouragement. Especially the last word, encouragement. I always think that that's the most important thing in the postgraduate studies life. Yeah, my students always have friends. They might not working on the same topic or same scope, but they always have friends. They don't work alone. They support each other. They form a group, supporting group, support each other. They're all doing a PhD, but they're working on on a different topic. They may not working on a different topic, but they will support each other. Yeah, moral support. Yeah, peer support and emotional reassurance and practical tips. That's important. And mentorship. Seek additional support, additional mentor between the outside the institution. Yeah, if you may need some expertise, expert opinion from other institution, maybe not from your department, not from your faculty, maybe from other university, maybe from other faculty. So it's nothing wrong or be shame to ask for help. Having multiple mentors can offer diverse perspective and comprehensive guidance. I remember where that I always ask my students to gain some insight from others, maybe from other faculty or even from other university if needed. Academic community, join the academic society and online community related to a field that this platform can provide access to resource discussion and networking. Nowadays, they have a lot of supporting group in the Facebook, in the I think Instagram or something. They have a group of postgraduate student. Then you can posting your question or answer to get support or feedback from the fellow researcher. Utilizing the feedback effectively. If you get the feedback from the supervisor, then you have to make sure that you fully use it in a positive way. Seek clarification. If feedback is unclear, don't hesitate to ask clarification. If your supervisor give you unclear feedback, make sure they ask again so they understand what is the feedback. Yeah, they understand fully what the feedback is. so you don't misunderstand. Yeah, be receptive. Be receptive that approach feedback is with open mind. So don't always think that your supervisor against you. Yeah, sometimes they'll try to give you a constructive feedback, but even you don't agree or maybe not, you are not happy. Yeah, even critical feedback can be valuable if used constructively. Reflect on progress, political review of the feedback you are received, and reflect on how it's helped to improve your work. This can be help you to identify the recurring area of improvement. Coping with stress and challenge, that's very important. Stress management technique, practice stress management technique such as mindfulness, exercise, and hobbies to maintain your well-being. Study doesn't mean that you have to give up your hobby. Yeah, if you like to exercise, then go for exercise. If you like to do good jogging, go jogging. You like to play badminton, you like to whatever. Then go get on. Don't keep mean you have to study, you have to give up. Yeah. So to maintain your stress, your mental health, seek help when needed. Don't hesitate to seek professional help. If you are struggling with mental health issue, if you're so overstressed that you cannot stand, usually always perform a counseling service or student. If you're really stressed and you find that it might affect your mental health, then seek for advice. Time management, develop effective time management skill, balance your research, housework, and personal life. Tools like calendar, to-do list, and the project management software can be helpful. Preparing for meeting, draft agenda, as I mentioned before many times, I try to emphasize it. You have to create a detailed agenda outlining, organize your work, bring all the relevant document data together with the meeting, and prepare question. List all the question concern, but you have to ensure to cover all the important points so you don't miss out any single point you want to raise, and review the previous feedback. A lot of students, after the meeting, they never review what their feedback from the supervisor. That's important. Don't always forget to do that. Yeah, so that you know what is happening. And the important thing is building a long-term relationship. Yeah. Maintain contact. After completing a PhD, keep in touch with the supervisor. Regular update with your career and achievement can help to maintain the relationship. A lot of supervisor or student, they don't keep in touch with the student. I think that's a very wrong move because supervisor can help the student in their future career development. And student may seek the opinion from the supervisor. What the supervisor can gain that is that they can build a relationship and network. I I always build a good relationship with my students. When I apply a research grant or I write a book, I also invite them to participate together. Yeah, collaborate in research. Yeah, that's what you can do with your supervisor after you complete. So you can continue to collaborate them on the research and seek continual mentorship because you are still very junior in the research world. Your experienced supervisor can share their experience with you and to help you to handle all kinds of situations that you might face in the research world. How to impress your supervisor? Whatever your reason, you're learning a correct way to impress supervisor can do wonder and building a great relationship and increase your chance of success not only in your project but also opening the door for your future career development. Being knowledgeable in your field. All the supervisors want a research student who are knowledgeable and well-read in their field as they tend to produce high-quality work and counter fewer work. To be like that, you have to read a lot, so that your supervisor can impress by you. Although no one expect you to be expert, make sure they have at least read three of most popular journal publication in your chosen area. Yeah. You don't have to do more. Just read the three more popular journal. At least your supervisor know that you know what the latest development. Yeah, your supervisor look at you on your brain, not on your outlook. Yeah, they don't really care whether you're pretty or you're ugly, but your brain will impress them. Research your supervisor. Maybe you should have to research your supervisor, look up your supervisor, will give you an insight of their research interest, what topic they are currently researching, and whatever they make any notable contribution, be it a publication, a book, or to talk on the leading conference. So you understand your supervisor better. Remember, your goal is to flatter them, but to be able to clearly explain what your project apply to them, so that you can relate your work with what they're interested in, why you like them to be your supervisor. An example, you might pick up in fact that the supervisor have recently published several papers or attend a number of a conference of a particular subject. So to impress them, to show their interest to them. Have a long-term plan, know that what you want to be in your research and why you want to research it and what you want to do after they having completed your research, so you know that why you choose this topic. So your supervisor also will be happy that you have a clear plan. Spend some time reading out on your common challenge that you expect your student and determine what your career goals are. Yeah. Being able to demonstrate an awareness for both of these will help to convince the supervisor that your consideration of doing a PhD is a rational one. They will make your supervisor happy. Be proactive, plan your work, commit to your agreed schedule, and fulfill all your application. Your supervisor will be more happy that if you, what you promise you can be fulfilled. Nothing makes a supervisor happier than an active student taking full responsibility for his or her project. Being a talented researcher doesn't mean that able to conduct research, but also about being able to do so independently. I always emphasize this word, independently, because it's your work. Showing that your supervisor that you are capable to do this won't only keep them looking forward to their next meeting, but it will also give them a high level of confidence in their own long-term potential. And don't forget, document, and document. One of the simplest way to impress your supervisor or any fellow researcher or the method is to document everything clearly and systematically. Not only document, but clearly and systematically. This can be ranged from creating a detailed spreadsheet to keep a frequently update like text file that if you use formula or something. Regardless of how you document your work, you stick to a single system and make it so detailed that everyone can pick up and continue your research without having to ask for clarification. Networking with other researchers between the outside and university and promoting your work through a conference, event, and journal publication improve not only your reputation but also your supervisor as well likely to be co-author. Then this will help your supervisor to increase the research reach of their work and secure the real research grant and be considered for the future collaboration. So supervisor also will help you also will help your supervisor by you network with others like writing papers or something. Beware. You mustn't overstep your bound, especially when it comes to unfinished work of area of the new potential research. Sharing something your supervisor hasn't yet want to be made public is the quickest way to go from interesting to annoying. So be careful. If something that your supervisor doesn't want to share, don't publish it yet. Yeah. So make sure that you consult a supervisor whether it should be published or not. Supervisor doesn't like the student like this. Do little or no reading, does not writing, does not reference their writing, does not embed a correction of their previous draft before their present or next draft to the supervisor, do not address the issue or commentary or approve despite the repeating requests from the supervisor. These are the things that the supervisor are very unhappy. Of course, after you finish your PhD, clean out the decks. Yeah, I think this is something students always forget. You shouldn't need to be told that about this, but it's surprisingly how many research students fail to clean up after themselves after having completed their laboratory work. You give a poor impression of their research group, which is especially important when you consider the fact that you are likely to sharing the facility with staff members who are colleagues of your supervisor. Yeah, cleaning up after yourself show that you respect your colleague and your workplace suggest that you have a high personal standard, which is always comparable in the eyes of the supervisor. Yeah, this is the thing. This is always I'm quite upset also with my student. Once they finish, they just leave it there. Yeah, and you must have a plan B. If academic life taught me anything, is that you should always have a plan B. If you hope for the best or the plan for the worst, then you should always have all side cover and hopefully you have the most fulfilling experience possible during your PhD. Sorry, UPC, sorry, I correct. So you should always have more than one supervisor. They can provide a counterpoint view on your work and they can help you to benchmarking your relationship and expectation with your primary. That's why we need a good supervisory committee so that you can provide you a different opinion, different view. Yeah. In the unlikely event that your relationship with your primary is not great, they can also take a mediation role to help both sides to gain clarity and hopefully move forward. So if you're by having a problem or conflict with your supervisor, your committee member might be able to help. Yeah, supervisor many times. Yeah. There are perfect supervisor, brain science or the planet supervisor, the missing supervisor, unreliable supervisor, compliance supervisor, negative supervisor, demanding supervisor, and bureaucracy supervisor, and the behind the times supervisor. Yeah, remember that supervisor are human being as well. So you can expect all kinds of supervisor you might ever face. Yeah, yeah. So out of this, I would like to focus on some type of difficult PhD supervisor. Yeah, you can see here the list of the different types of supervisor: unavailable supervisor, magnum opus writer, critic supervisor, tell you the painstaking detail what is wrong with your work, but does not have any clue on how to make it right. Nitpicker. You see, these are all the all kind of supervisor. Yeah, they might have some difficult supervisor. Yeah, but I like to focus a few type of them. Micromanager. A micromanager is the one who is over control or wish to make input on all your decision, however small. Example, they may want to check every single slide or piece of writing which you produce multiple time, or they may try to detect you the way that you wish you divide your time and how you prioritize. Micromanager can be difficult to deal with as different student and supervisor have the different idea about how much the management or supervisor should perform. This micromanager type. To deal with them, you have to take a dual approach, first demonstrating that you can perform tasks competently without their guidance, so that they believe that you can do it yourself. Yeah, if you can show that you can prepare a presentation well, for example, without their influence, then they will feel that less need to manage you in the future, so that they feel confident on you. The other approach is to talk to them and try to discover their underlying concern, what they're worried about you. Do they feel that they like to micromanage because they are concerned about your ability? If they don't have enough confidence, they don't have faith on you can do it alone or something. So let talk to them and understand what they are actually unhappy or worried about that. So identify the underlying concern which is leading to the micromanaging behavior and try to demonstrate that their worry is not founded. That's important. So that to do they understood and tell them that this is they are over worried or something, so they don't have to worry too much. You show that you can be do independently. You don't need much about their monitoring. Okay, some lecture supervisors are absentees. Absentee supervisors are those who are not present during your PhD earlier, either physically if they are always traveling a lot, or metaphorically they are also busy that you never see them. Maybe they are vice chancellor, they are deputy one chancellor or something, maybe too busy to see you. This is a common problem of senior professor and those who supervise a lot of students without advice and guidance from the supervisor. Performing your PhD research is much harder. That's true. If your supervisor never monitor you. To deal with the absentee supervisor, you can first try to laying out the agreement with them about the regular meeting. If you can arrange a meeting with them once a week or once every 2 weeks at a set time, then you know that you can at least have their chance to get their input at any issue. Often professors can be bad at replying the email, and so a face-to-face meeting is the best way to get their attention. If you can't get a regular meeting with them, you can turn to your second supervisor or your supervisory committee, who you can trust and ask the input for them. However, this is truly not impossible to see your supervisor regularly. You should continue moving for a different supervisor who can give you or your research more the time and the attention. Usually, there's a difficult to get the supervisor's attention. Maybe then the last thought is change to the supervisor. If you have a supervisor that's overcritical, that's a bad thing, isn't it? It's a part of the supervisor job to offer criticism of your work, but some supervisors take this for too far. Supervisor who yell on their students, who berated them or make them unpleasant personal comment are not unheard of. Dealing with such a supervisor can leave students stressed, depressed, and insecure about their own ability. Doing a PhD can certainly be emotional experience, but if the student regularly leaving the office in tears after speaking with their supervisor, then something is very wrong. To deal with this kind of supervisor, you will need to assess how severe the station is. If your supervisor is generally well-meaning but rather harsh with their feedback, then you can try to talk to them about your overall progress in your PhD. Some supervisors, especially if they are new to management, forget that it is important to give positive feedback as well as pointing out the error. They may, in fact, very satisfied with their work, but they only mention the negative point that they see. In this case, by talking to them about your overall progress, you can get a more positive picture of your work. In several cases, if your supervisors are abusive toward you and they are having an overall negative effect on your life and your work, then you need to protect yourself by leaving their group or finding a new supervisor. Yeah, remember that. Don't ever let your supervisor hurt you in the way. Yeah, remember that the supervisor should support you and assist you. As at the very beginning of the slide, I already told you that the role of supervisor is to support you and assist you, not make you feel like I'll fail you. And you can always get another supervisor, but your mental health is of the highest priority. Make sure that your mental health will be taken care of. Principle, the successful supervision. The supervisor must be the first and foremost an expert of supervision who is aware of the difficulty of the process. Yeah, this is what the principle, not by me, by this researcher and present in the seminar. Last but not least, finally, it's worth remembering that the supervisors are people too. They have a good day and a bad day. They have a good hair day and bad hair day. They have personal stuff going on that can impact their mood and decision making. They will make mistakes and hopefully apologize for them. Then they will aim for perspection and always fall short. So do your research and find a supervisor who work for you and the way you work. Find a supervisor who will make you better than you could in your own. That's important. And the conclusion is we can make a PhD roller coaster ride and an enjoyable run. We are you pessimistically call a mutual age student, and we should have a unique perspective on the PhD process and working relationship. Mutual respect, and the open communication between the supervisor and supervisee is what will make this roller coaster ride as easy as possible. That's important. I'm already here. Doing a PhD is just like marriage. You need a good communication, be professional, and show enthusiasm. Both reflect and learn and keep perspective. Yeah. When you die and hear your supervisor saying that he was a brilliant researcher, I think when you die, you can wake up again. Yeah, I think that's the joke. Okay. The good supervisor is a man who isn't worried about his own career, but rather than progress on the student who work for him. That's why I look for this kind of supervisor. Yeah, here are suggested reference that you can refer to. Yeah, you can get a note from the HGS after the talk. Yeah, if you have any. Okay, that's the end of my talk today. Thank you very much.
Prof,
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for sharing.
Okay, salam.
My name is Mohammed. I'm doing PhD. I'm in my end of my first semester.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, doctor, if I need your advice actually in this. I'm planning actually to complete my PhD within 2 years and 2 years and a half.
Okay.
It just I didn't dare to tell my supervisor this. Like I want to do it like this because I'm worried if she thinks I am over ambitious about what I want to do, because I already finished GSTNA and GS11. I already submitted with my proposal. But now I still need to do the proposal defense and of course the CE, which honestly I don't know what is CE. I heard it's a comprehensive exam.
Yeah.
In UPM, but during my master journey in UPM, comprehensive exam was about all the subjects we studied in master. But in PhD, I have no idea actually what is it.
Okay. Comprehensive exam usually on the third semester and to the fifth semester. I mean that your supervisor will ask you to give you some question in a written. They ask you to answer. So you have to write in the written question. You have to answer in written, and you also have a presentation. The purpose of this is to see that when you are capable to continue your research. Yeah, they want to see that you know your direction well You know what you are doing. You know what you're planning, and you are on the right track. That's to try to monitor. Actually, it's a process to monitor your progress. Then you know that you are capable to complete, and from there they also know that your understanding about your background, your problem, yeah, and you have enough knowledge about your field so that you can continue to work on that. So this is what the comprehensive exam is. Yes, you'll be able to finish in 2.5 years and 2 years. I have a student from Nigeria. He actually completed his PhD in Green YY in 2 years, and he published 6 papers. That's possible. I would say that. But with a proper discussion between the student and the supervisor, we really talk to each other what he want to achieve and what we expect from him. Yeah. And we design the experiment. We both together. Then he tell me what he want to do, and we give suggestion what he should do, what he shouldn't do, and I get everything ready. The lab, everything, the facility, the material he want. In the first 2 semesters, we plan very detailed. So what his job is just carry out the experiment, carry out the research, and he try to complete everything on time. Yeah, why we push so hard? Because he told me that because when he came from Nigeria to UPM, his wife just pregnant. So in 2 years' time, he cannot see his son, a newborn son. So he want to go back earlier. So we said, okay, since you are rushing, but we cannot just sacrifice the quality of your research, but we can design the scope so that it's enough for you to accomplish it as a PhD degree, uh, and you can finish on time. Of course, most of the time he stay in the lab from the morning until afternoon, and the weekend he do his literature and writing. So very disciplined. And then he managed to do that. And he also published 6 papers, yeah, 6 journal paper after from his work. So this thing very much depend on you and your supervisor. You should tell your supervisor what you expect and see what they think. Yeah, maybe he doesn't agree. He might not be confident to you that whether you manage to finish in 2 years or 2.5 years. But you had to talk to him or her, because no matter she is competent or not competent, you had to let her know your expectation and why you need to finish fast because of a financial issue or something. So when he or she understand your station, she can sit down and talk to you. Which scope, which boundary you can do, what you can focus, what's the priority, which area you can get the good result with more confidence. This is a thing you need to talk to them, and until the end of the first semester, what you have progressed, and you have to show him or her that uh, your progress, which make him convince him or her that you really understand your research problem, and you know that you're on the right direction toward it, or else your supervisor don't believe that you can complete in 2 years. Yeah, I know that ambitious is good. Yeah, clear target is good, but clearing target might need a good plan. Yeah, you cannot achieve your goal without a good plan. Yeah, you need a good plan. The good plan not only by yourself, but you can draft your plan, and your supervisor can give you input. See that this is feasible, this is not feasible. What support he or she can give you so to make you can accelerate your process. They say that if the modeling or something is too difficult for you, maybe he can change it to experimental work or something. Or maybe like myself, I discussed with my supervisor. I told him that I want to do more on modeling, and he said that at least I have to 40% of model experimental work and 60% of the modeling. I cannot have 100% modeling. So we agree. You see, we have to achieve a mutual agreement. Yeah. So both of us agree, then you can easier to do. Yeah. So you have to discuss with your supervisor too, no matter how. You don't worry that you're over ambitious or something. Yeah. Is your supervisor responsibility to assist you. If they think that you are over ambitious, then he might help you to clarify what you can do first and which one to help you to reduce something and make sure that your work is enough to deliver as a PhD thesis. That's very important. Or because your supervisor must have experience how much weightage. Yeah, One thing is that I think a lot of students misunderstand. They think PhD must be doing something fantastic, something very huge or big, giant project. No, PhD for me is just a training. It's a training process. The true research is after you get your PhD. It's a visa for you to do a true research. You can aim for a normal price, but make sure you get a PhD first. Yeah. Then you have plenty of time to do for it. Yeah. A PhD is about 3 years, 5 years. So we have time constraint. So don't be too over ambitious on that. So discover your wiser so that he and she know that what scope or what boundary they can set for you. Okay.
Correct. Thank you so much, Doctor. And
Thank you.
one more thing, Doctor.
Yes.
What's your advice for us as a PhD students? Like, when do usually we should meet? Is it every 2 weeks, every 1 month? Because I talked to one junior doctor in UPM. He's new, and
Mm-hmm.
he advised me. He said to me, just meet them once in a semester so they don't demand you a lot. But honestly, I don't agree on this, because if I meet my supervisor once every semester, I think I will finish in 10 years.
Yes, agree. If your supervisor too busy, like I mentioned, if your supervisor are very busy, hardly to have time with you, then you must have a plan B. You have a team. Usually in UPM, you have a course supervisor. So appoint a course supervisor that can support you. Whenever you can meet your supervisor, discuss with your course supervisor, and you got what you have discussed with your course supervisor and send a copy to your supervisor so that keep him or her updated so that they know that what you have discussed with the committee. Yeah. Don't behind them. Don't do it behind them. Okay? They won't be happy. Your supervisor won't be happy if you
Mm.
if you discuss with your supervisor, your course supervisor, and achieve something without her knowledge or his knowledge. I think that's very bad because you will think that you try to do something about, behind him or her without
Mm.
her acknowledgement or something. That will trouble. Yeah, we don't want he or she misunderstand that you do something again behind them, yeah, without acknowledge them. So whatever you must have a. If your supervisor cannot meet you regularly, let's say 2 weeks, once in 2 weeks, then you set a supervisor at least one in a month, and your course supervisor once in 2 weeks. So whenever the time you cannot meet your supervisor, you meet your course supervisor. Yeah, you continue get somebody monitor your work. Okay, you
Thank you
can
so much. Thank you so much, Prof.
okay.
Really appreciate it.
Assalamu alaikum, Doctor.
Yeah. Waalaikumsalam.
Hi, Doctor. First of all, thank you very much for your excellent class today. It is very helpful. And I am a PhD student from Faculty of Educational Studies.
Okay.
Now, I am currently in my 11th semester.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I still cannot complete my studies on time. So I have already applied for a 2-semester extension. So I would like to know what is the longest possible duration for a PhD program in UPM? Thank you so much.
I think graduate school have a guideline. If not mistaken, I think for PhD, I think officially 5 years, isn't it? I'm not mistaken, 10th semester. Yeah. And then yeah. If you I think that I can't remember the latest one. If you don't submit your thesis on time, then you must risk yourself to fail in your study, but you always can appear. Yeah, for some reason. I understand that for social science or art study, sometimes they take longer than the technology or engineering study. Yeah, because your duration. Like my friend who do this aging people research in the social science study, it take about I think 5 to 6 years to finish. This is quite common for social science in 5 years, 4 to 5 years to complete. Yeah. Yeah, it's common, but common doesn't mean that you always have to do that long. Yeah. I think my advice is talk to your supervisor. Yeah. Try to narrow down certain scope or try to set some boundary. So unnecessary part of the objective, maybe he can try to define the objective, yeah, so that you can start you can narrow down your research, yeah, because I think the most of the time in social science is that try to collect as data, yeah, collects data and analyze data. They spend a lot of time on that, yeah. So it's unlike the engineering or technology data. There are 10, 20 data, maybe 30 data. Maybe for social science research, sometimes can be 100, can be 50, 100, even can be thousands of data, different depending on the scope of research. So I know that is very time consuming, but since you only have you already reached the 11th semester, I think it's a good time to discuss with your supervisor again. Try to redefine your objective and your research problem. Make sure that do some modification so that the objective and research problem still fulfill the requirement of PhD, but make it much simplified or much lighter, so that just enough to be qualified for a PhD thesis, but no additional work. Sometimes the supervisor so ambitious, and I think I know that some supervisor they want just too much thing to want to present almost everything. That yeah, so but you have to tell them your condition as well. You're not here for forever. Yeah, you cannot. Yeah. So make sure you discuss with your supervisor, and also before you see your supervisor, you try to revise it. Maybe you can seek for an expert, seek some advice from some expert in the field. Yeah, not only from the supervisor, seek for an expert from your field. Yeah. It can be from the faculty members or from your the research institution who are expert in their field. Try to ask their opinion. How you can mean that reduce some scope of your study and still remain the quality of your work. Yeah. So since you can narrow down your scope, then and make sure that it's still enough to be presented as a PhD, then you discuss with your supervisor, see that whether you can reduce some workload so that you can manage to submit your thesis on time. Yeah, I think you have to do that. Otherwise, if you keep following like that, your supervisor also never know that you're uh, what problem you actually face. You know, sometimes the communication is very important. Your supervisor think that you are progressing, but you also know that what difficulty you face. Some data you might not able to get. Maybe you're facing the difficulty to analyze certain data. Then ask your supervisor to help. If you have any difficulty on your technically, then ask your supervisor opinion. Anybody can teach you or help you in doing that, so that you can speed up your progress. If there's some data that you cannot obtain, ask your supervisor how to get it, or maybe you can change the scope a little bit so that you don't have to include certain difficult data. Yeah, that's very important. Yeah, you always have to talk to them.
Doctor,
Yes.
what time would you recommend us for ethics approval, data collection, analysis, publication, and all this? You know.
A lot of people think that the first year is relaxed. That's a misunderstanding. That some people think that first year is only doing the literature review proposal. Myself is that yes, first year you're doing literature review, you're experimental design or something, but if you want to finish fast in the first year, you must be very clear what your research problem. You have to define your research problem very clearly, and you set out your research experiment in your first year. You really have to understand. No time is the right time to start. Since you enter UPM, everything the research is started. You don't wait until last minute. That's all. Writing, since the first semester, you can start writing already. Why? You can do the easiest one is a literature review. Because you're done, do a literature review. Whatever you read, do a summary and keep it, save in a folder. Then, okay, see, this is beyond the scope of today's topic. I always say that if you want to finish your thesis fast, first chapter you write, the first thing you do is, when you write a thesis is, collect the data, the table of figures you want to put in your thesis first. Yeah. Choose those data. And after 3 years, or 2 year plus, you have too many data and tables, figure and tables. But you cannot put all the data in your thesis. That's impossible. So choose what you want. So the easiest way is make a skeleton of your thesis. Mean that you write a table of content of your thesis first. What you want your final thesis look like in the table of content of your thesis. Write a table of content of a thesis. Then second thing is choose the table and figures that you want to put in the each section of your thesis. Then the first chapter to write, never introduction. The first chapter to write is methodology, because you are the one who do research. You know what methodology you apply. So you can start writing the methodology because that's the easiest part. But it's the more important part as well, because if your methodology wrong, you will fail your PhD thesis. Write your methodology first. Then secondly, write your result discussion. Why to do like that, this sequence, not the introduction? A lot of people misunderstand introduction is the easiest part to write, because introduction only 10 pages. Oh, okay, I can write easily. No, introduction to write later. Do your methodology first, because once you do an experiment, your research or study, you know that your methodology apply, your questionnaire, everything you know. So then down your result discussion, maybe that's the difficult part. But if you every time you finish the experiment, you write a short analysis about your work, so you can compile them. So after you finish your result discussion, then you start to write your introduction. From there, you set an objective based on your output. Your objective based on your output. Yeah, you design objective back based on your output or result. Then write a conclusion based on the objective. Then abstract, the last of literature from the first day until the end. You have to keep updating, because literature is a continuous process. Yeah, no this sequence. So then you will finish your thesis fast.
Doctor. Thank you so much.
Okay.
We have one question in the chat box.
Oh, is that? Let me check. Sorry.
I think there's a two from
But there's so many messages I cannot read.
from Jesslyn.
Jesslyn. Okay, if you do not put all the data in my thesis, what is the point that I do all that parameter? Yeah, you're right. But the thing is that you don't have to write all the data in your thesis. The thesis is a more represented data. Yeah, based on the most important one. Your examiner, your reader want to see what's the main objective. Yeah, you might have a lot of data to prove to support your, yeah, but the important thing is the more representative result to put in there. Yeah, like one of my master students, he got too many scopes, he done too many experiments. I asked him eventually, I said, this is just a master thesis. You only put 2 chapters of that, enough for your thesis. Then the rest of the data, I said, you can write it as a journal paper, but don't need to present in your thesis. Yeah, so that because not only you feel difficult, the examiner also feel tired, because have to read the thesis that's so thick, and also tired. They also not focus what actually you're trying to focus on. Yeah, so be focused and be organized, be logical order. So you have to fulfill the logical order of a thesis. Yeah, the most important one, the more the follow the logical order. The more what is the most important issue and how you structure them. That's more important. Yeah, the rest of the data don't throw away. You can write it as a journal paper or something. Yeah, that's why I always about, because I have examined more than 300 theses, master and PhD. PhD thesis over 100 over. I examined. I did examine some theses, 900 pages. Oh God, these yellow pages. Yeah, but what's the point? You write too much. Not only he is tired, I also tired to read his thesis. Then the focus is lost because when you write too much, you don't know what is the main story of the thesis. That's a problem. So be very careful. Yeah, you write more. It doesn't mean a beauty. Yeah, we should be focused. Yeah, the main problem, the main objective, the main issue you want to address, then you put in the data inside there. Okay. If you want to ask me what is the guideline of your thesis, then I'll simply just tell you that if your thesis can write a 3 good journal paper, that's enough for your thesis. A PhD thesis, that's more than enough. Don't write too much.
Another one from Vilavan. Does CE
bro.
consist of professor defense, right?
Yeah. I know. I think this is a bit out of topic. For a PhD to every age of sorry, I just let me answer this question for a message. For a PhD study, does every each objective need to have its own novelty? That's a good question. Not necessary, but overall, your research must have novelty, not each objective. As an overall, your research has shown novelty. Okay. What is
Professor.
okay? Yes. Waalaikumsalam.
Professor, sorry, during your last explanation, you mentioned that the order for the writing of the thesis was not included in the scopes for today. Can you please recommend or give us a title for a seminar or a workshop where we can learn this?
Oh, the courses that, yeah, I think the graduate school and library from time to time they organize some training. You can follow up their website. They always prepare that. Yeah. So if you are
Thank you so much.
yeah. So I think you can also contact the Arif. I think he also in charge of the training on the graduate school. Yeah, you can take note on the graduate school website.
On what topic again?
Or many topic. There are various of topic. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Writing journal or literature review, all sort of topic. I think that in library they'll have prepare how to use how to search the electronic sources or thing, EndNote, Mendeley, all these courses. You can always follow up the latest news from the library and then also the graduate school website. Okay. What?
Thank you so much. And one more short question, please.
Yeah.
My supervisor recommended for me to take your research methodology class. May I know how can I find it?
Then you, I think you can contact the graduate school if they offer. Usually, I was in the research center EAB 5100 group 2. Usually they put me in the group 2. I'm not sure, but as long as in the engineering courses, our code is EAB 5100. Yeah, but usually there are 3 lecturers or 4 lecturers teaching the same course. So if you want to enter my class, you had to go to the deputy dean office to ask which group I was in, because I'm not sure. They always open the course. They put me in one of the group. I also sometimes had to ask which group they put me in. Yeah, like this semester I was in the group 2. Yeah. So they put me in a group 2, but you had to better consult that. So if you don't, or else you'll register with other lecturers. Yeah. It doesn't matter. All the lecturers are good. Yeah. Let me answer this question. How long should I expect my supervisor to give a feedback to me? Okay. Depends on supervisor, how busy I am. I say that usually if you give them a comment or something, you expect with 1 or 2 weeks. If they are very busy, they shouldn't wait until 1 month to give a feedback. That's too late. Yeah. If you 1 or 2 weeks, they never give you any feedback, you should follow up. You have to wait until they call you. Okay. How big and how small the problem is that I can solve myself. I can solve myself. How big and how small? It's a thing that no need to involve so many people. You can solve yourself, that is okay. If you can get people from Perth to help you to solve the problem, that's not big enough. Like big problem, like for example, the machine breakdown, you can't help. Yeah, you cannot find anywhere you've already looked for the same facility, you cannot find the faculty or UPM. Then you have to consult your supervisor. Either you change your experimenter or you find it outside. That might involve the money or something. So you need to talk to your supervisor. Okay. Depending, problem you can solve between your mean, that's a small problem. Problem you cannot solve between your mean, that's big problem. What is the meaning of the PhD student publish a lot of paper to a student and supervisor? How I don't know that it's like a very level thesis. I say, okay, last question is, I say that if you can publish, if your thesis is good enough to publish 3 papers, that's good enough for a PhD thesis. Then for what's the point of writing a paper, a lot of paper? Okay, I think that question is difficult. You should ask your supervisor. For me, writing a paper, a lot of paper, it doesn't mean anything. It's just say that for UPM, you need 2 papers for PhD, 1 paper for master, as a criteria to get a certificate. Write a lot of paper because sometimes your supervisor request. Certain faculty, certain supervisor request that the student write more paper. To me, it's not an important factor, but it's just a personal request from the supervisor. But I think more paper or something maybe help you in your career in future. Especially you are looking for a postdoc or lecturer post. More paper will help you in your career. That's important. That's what I mean. Okay. So if I answer a question, if you have any new question, you free to WhatsApp me. I can always answer you, or you can email me. I can try to. Oh, is there any instance or reason of a vice supervisor might want to delay your study? I don't deny that there are some supervisors do that, but most of the time the supervisor shouldn't do that. Then they might do it unintentionally because they are too busy. There are too many commitments. They might not able to cope with it. Or some of the other reason maybe they are unhappy with you. There might be a personal reason. There are also a reason that why supervisor will delay your thesis writing or something. But that's why you need to understand, build a good relationship with your supervisor. If you have a conflict with your supervisor and it cannot solve, then you better change your supervisor. If not, I think if the problem still can be managed, then try to talk to your supervisor. What happened? Why they are not happy with you? Okay, is there any reason that why they are unhappy by progress or your progress or something? And tell them why you are willing to improve or change. That's very important to communicate with supervisor. I won't say supervisor are bad, but sometimes I don't deny there are some supervisor a little bit weird. My experience as an academic here for more than 30 years, I understand that all kind of people. We are all human beings. We have all kind of characters. Oh, is there any evaluation form for this web manner? Arif, is there any evaluation?
Yes, I paste again in the chat box. I already sent it before, so
Maybe you had to send again. Somebody asking.
okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So any other question?
Professor, I have one more question. For today's, the topics that you covered today about scheduling a meeting, about discussing expectation and progress and stuff with the supervisor. For me, I finished my master with the same supervisor that I'm continuing my PhD with now.
Okay.
Would you recommend me to visit all this expectations and frequency of the meeting and stuff again, or should I just assume and continue as it was before?
Well, it depends. If you know that your direction well, then you don't need to have so much, but because you are very familiar with your supervisor. But what you need to discuss with your supervisor is because your level is different. For master, the demanding of the thesis is or work is not that much, but for PhD, it's good that to discuss with your supervisor again what the expectation on the study, because the PhD might request more in depth, and usually they request a lot of novelty in their work. So it's good to discuss, but not to try to communicate with your supervisor to understand his behaviors or something, but more to your study. Okay, what do you expect more to further? Yeah, because your supervisor asked you to extend from your previous study to current one. So you had to discuss with your supervisor what expectation they want for this new project. Yeah. With what extent to what depth they want to be. Yeah. That's very Master the scope is very limited, but PhD the scope might be more in-depth. So what kind of novelty they're looking at. So you have to discuss it with your supervisor. Okay. Is that I see
Understood.
your
Thank you
question?
so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have time for another question?
Yeah. I think just a short question, please.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because okay, because the challenge is sorry to challenge.
Yes, my faculty is structural engineering as well, and
Okay.
I wanted to know what approach would you recommend if and when a simulation before the experimental does not support, like it shows a correlation, but it doesn't support what you expected.
Okay. Simulation not always can what's so called they always fit well with the experimental data or something. Yeah, because simulation we always set assumption. Yeah, we try to simplify the problem in simulation because you cannot get exactly the true condition of the experimenter. So that's why in simulation, you know that the first step is you set an objective, then you set a fundamental theory, then you have to make assumption. So when your simulation data disagree or cannot fit very well with your experimental data, one thing you can discuss is based on the assumption, which assumption you oversimplify the problem, and from there you create that why this assumption will lead to the disagreement between the experimental data and the simulation data. For example, one of my PhD work is that the data should be concave, but it become the other way around. So the examiner asked me, from the experience in the industry and experience in experiment data, he got 20 over years in experience in that field. So he never seen that the profile is like this or opposite. Said I also don't know because actually I asked my supervisor before the Viva. He said that he also have no clue. So, but certainly I found that one of the assumptions I make for my simulation is I assume the filter cake is incompressible, but in reality the cake is actually compressible. So mean that the pressure drop will be reduced in the reality, and in the simulation, because the cake is become thicker, the pressure drop will be higher. So that is a possible explanation. My examiner accept that because you cannot prove me wrong. Yeah. So you see, you have to go back to your assumption. Yeah. If you have a disagreement with your experiment data and your simulation data, the difference always come from the assumption you make because you oversimplify certain thing. Okay. You can find most of the time you can find the answer in your assumption that you make. Yeah. Which because that's why the simulation, every time you do simulation, you try the new simulation, you try to reduce the assumption. So make sure that you closer as possible to the real condition. That's why. Okay. Hello.
Understood. Thank you,
Yeah.
Professor.
Okay. Sorry, this is
So,
what. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
so what
Yes.
I understand is I have to find the issue that causes the discrepancy and
Yes.
solve it and repeat the simulation in order to move on.
Yes. Yeah, you need to do a simulation, but the thing is that you every time you do, you're actually repeating the same thing if your assumption is still the same. So if you want the experimental data closer to the simulation, your simulation, there are many reasons. One of the reasons is your software you use is already fixed with certain assumption. Let's say, for example, like in my field, chemical engineering. So we assume everything is steady state, but in reality, there's hardly have a steady state in the process. But if you don't put as a steady state in the simulation, the whole thing cannot be run. So there always have an error, a difference between the simulated result and the reality. But we try to minimize it as much as possible by reducing some of the assumption. That's the thing. Sometimes it's because of the limitation of the software itself. Sometimes it's if I like my PhD work is I write my own program, so it's an assumption that I make that try to simplify the problem that make the difference between my result and the experiment and the simulation result. So if you want to to know that what is the reason, sometimes you have to go back to your system. If you're using software, to go back to what the system setting, the system. If your setting is that okay, everything is perfect condition, non-sleep, non-sleep condition, non steady state or something, they always have some setting. So you can look into that, okay? Not set as a turbulent flow or laminar flow or something, or some non-compressible, compressible condition. All these are setting because the simulation setting itself that you cannot change. That will also cause a difference between your result and the simulation. Okay, your experimental and your simulation. You have to always go back to your software setting and also what the actual scenario. Okay, I think that's all the topic today.
Understood. Thank you, Professor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other question? Sorry, I don't know. I don't see the
No, I think we already addressed all the
okay.
questions.
Yeah.
Mm.
If you have question, you can email me or something. Okay. Or you can
Okay.
contact Cik Arif to get my contact.
Okay. Okay, so I think that's the end of our session today. On behalf of 200 Studies, I would like to thank all the participants first, and also our honest appreciation to our speaker today, Professor Dr. Lokman Chua, for sharing our very, I think, valuable insight throughout the studies on managing the supervisor. And thank you again, Prof. So
Thank you.
that's the end of the seminar, Prof.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. and
Thank
organizer.
you. Thank you. Jerry, we can share the slide with them. But I think
Yes.
I need to move some changes because something I typed wrongly. I give you the latest one later, okay?
Oh, okay.
Because I have some typo there. I
Oh,
need to check. Okay.
okay, bro.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.